What's up guys? I'm going to show you how I made this awesome space cake with cupcakes. Let's get started. First I start by adding a ton of Tylose powder into my gray fondant before I start rolling it out, and this just helps the fondant to dry nice and hard. After I cut out a circle, I place it on a small cutting mat just so I can cut it with a sharp blade. I dip a skewer into my edible glue and then I stick it inside the center of what will be the moon. And then I place it on a piece of parchment paper so it doesn't stick to my work surface. I use a ball tool to create these craters on the moon, and then I'm using gray petal dust inside the craters just to give it some depth. I use that same gray fondant, I roll it out, cut it out into circles, and then I'm using the ball tool again to make it look like little mini moons. And then I'm using the gray petal dust again inside those craters. And then I set those aside to dry. I'm rolling out some navy blue fondant now, which already had Tylose in it before I rolled it out. And then I'm using this cool little letter embosser to put the kid's name. And I'm cutting out some yellow stars. I will use those in a second. After that, I wrap my finger with some plastic wrap. And this is so that I can spray these cupcake toppers with some white to make it look like little stars. And then I use my edible glue and I glue on those stars onto the right-hand side. And then I can set these aside to dry now. Now I'm going to use that same navy blue fondant to cut out some threes. And then for these cute little rocket ships, I actually printed these on some smart sheets from Icing Images. It's kind of like a mix between wafer paper and an icing sheet. I absolutely adore them. Right now I rolled out some white fondant, which had Tylose powder in it already before I cut them out. And I'm placing the three in the little rocket ship onto that cupcake topper. I'm adding it with my edible glue. I'll put a link in the description so you can get some yourself. For the main rocket ship of the cake, I'm rolling out some white fondant, which has Tylose powder in it. You can also use gum paste. I found this rocket ship online. I printed it out and I cut it out. I did trace it. The only thing I added extra was like a little area for the fire to come out of the rocket ship. And then I placed my rocket ship on top, and then I'm using a Dresden tool just to make all these little markings. And this just helps the paint stay in one area. And it kind of just shows me, you know, where the little areas are, so I can easily paint it quickly and efficiently. I'm adding some extra little details there with some cake decorating tools. Most cake decorating tools I use can be found on my Amazon shop. I'll put the link in the description. I'm adding poppy paint into a paint palette lined with some plastic wrap, and this is just for easy cleanup. So I'm just painting the different areas of the rocket ship. I mixed some orange and a little tiny bit of yellow for the fire there. And I'm also using some blue. And what I do is I add a little bit of vodka with the blue so it just waters it down so you can see it's very faint. And then for the black, I added a tiny bit of white and a little bit of vodka as well. And then that's how I was able to make the gray color. I'm just adding some little extra areas of gray just for some detail. I thought it came out pretty cool. Just make the rocket ship pop a little bit. This rocket ship is on a parchment paper from Zenlogy. I'll put a link in the description as well. For the cake itself, I added some dark blue buttercream to my chilled cake. I added a tiny bit of light blue buttercream as well, and I'm adding it with an offset spatula. And then I come in here with a smooth cake comb. This is from Ester Cakes. I'll put a link in the description. Her cake combs are amazing. I just clean up the top there, fix any little imperfections, go over it one more time, and then I clean up my board. I'm gonna slow down this video so you can see how I wrap my finger. You can use a glove as well, but if you're just using one finger, I figured plastic wrap would be just an easy way. So I'm using white poppy paint. You can see here I put it on a toothbrush, and this toothbrush is for cake decorating only. I put it on the toothbrush and I use that same finger that has a plastic wrap on it, and I flick it back. And this creates little white specks on the cake, which makes it look like stars. It's a great technique, and then when you're done, you just take the plastic wrap off your finger and you have a nice clean finger. And when that's done, you can just pop the cake in the fridge for like 30 minutes so it firms up a little bit, and then you can start adding your details. I added the moon, the little astronaut, and the rocket ship with my edible glue. Sorry I didn't show how I made the astronaut. I made him at night. I think I had a headache, so I wasn't really into filming or anything like that. So this is how the cake came out. I hope you guys enjoy it. I loved how it came out. Check out the little astronaut. You see his mask there is kind of shiny. That is from Poppy Paint Super Shine. It makes things shiny and it doesn't make them sticky, which is really awesome. And this is what the cupcakes look like. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more videos.